What's up, y'all? How's everybody doing today? Happy Tuesday, right? Yeah, happy Tuesday, everybody. And there's a holiday today as well, so a bunch of good sourcing going on today as well. Lots of good sourcing opportunities. If you're getting new to the game, kind of sourcing stuff for Amazon, or even if you've been around for a while, I would dive in and start buying some stuff today. Lots of good opportunities with the holidays coming up. It's a good time to be stocking up on stuff. I know a lot of people are curious on what types of stuff, when to send stuff in. So if you're sending in, if you're selling very Christmas specific stuff, try to get it sent in ASAP. As a quick little PSA, and let me know what questions you guys have as you're popping on in here. If you guys are brand new to stream, that kind of stuff, I've been selling on Amazon for about 6 years now. That's my full-time income, and happy to answer any questions. What's up, man? Let's see, are we live? We are live, Mala. What's up, Wesley? How you doing today, man? Good to see you. Let's see. How do you get an invoice from TJ Maxx, places like that? If you're worried about documentation purposes, just proving that your inventory is legit, you can buy from those website or from those retail stores. If you're trying to get ungated with those, just keep in mind that you'll need to have an invoice that has your address on it. So you'll need to buy it online first, basically, and then you'll be good to go from there. Sweet. How do you handle IP issues? Yeah, so that's super normal. You're gonna run into stuff like that. If you get an IP complaint or any kind of account health complaint, you just need to upload documents that prove that you are the one that bought that item, and you bought it from a legitimate supplier. So being a big retail store, a legitimate wholesaler, that kind of thing. You just need to prove that that is where you're buying stuff from. Basically, they're just trying to prevent people from selling random Chinese products and pretending they're name brand, that kind of thing. Let's see. Using tools sourcing for 6 years. As far as sourcing goes, the only software you need is SellerAmp and Keepa. There's a bunch of complicated stuff, a bunch of stuff that claims to be automated. It's none of it is efficient. And if the problem with anything that's software related to source products is it's going to find things that are really, really easy to find, really basic. And so a lot of people are going to start hopping on those listings. The really good items are going to be things that require some manual knowledge in terms of how do I make items cheaper on a certain website with an email sign up code, or just using the coupons that are there, or using a discounted gift card, making a bundle listing, selling it as a 2-pack, that kind of thing. Those are going to be how you actually find stuff that's long-term profitable, rather than just randomly clicking around, basically. Let's see, what model do you? So I do arbitrage. So I buy and sell stuff from big websites and local retail stores, but the vast majority of my business is just buying from big websites. So for example, Walgreens, Vitacost, iHerb, Target, that kind of thing. And anytime those websites are running a sale like they are today for Veterans Day, there's a good amount of opportunity, just because there's going to be a bunch of stuff that's now underpriced on sale and is selling for oftentimes dumb amounts of money on Amazon. But I'm not here to question the financial decisions of people that I'm selling products to. I'm just going to make money off of it and be happy from there. Let's see, if you source a product that has different insole from what's in the listing, I would not sell that. The main thing, you can sell things that where the pictures don't quite match, or maybe the packaging is different, that kind of thing. The big thing to keep in mind, though, is to make sure that you're selling things that customers going to be happy receiving, right? So in this case, you're saying that the shoe is a different material now. Somebody might be picky about that kind of thing. If it's new packaging but the ingredients are still the same, if it's something like a vitamin or grocery, that kind of thing, then you'll be fine. Just keep the customers happy, and they'll keep your bank account happy, if that's how you want to look at it. See, how do you source items to sell? The simple route to source stuff is seeing what's already working for other successful sellers, specifically looking at products that you're already approved to sell automatically. So auto ungated sourcing, there's good YouTube videos on that on my channel if you want to see how that works. But you're just going to look at what other people are already sourcing. So you'll use SellerAmp to do that. And even on an even more basic level, if you want to find a profitable item today, with a little bit more legwork, but it's a little bit easier, just go to a local retail store, check the clearance section, go to your TJ Maxx, a Marshalls, that kind of thing. Because the only competition you have that way is the amount of Amazon sellers that are in your city, which, unless you're in a big city, it's probably only a handful of people. So there's less geographical competition. You're just going to be able to find things there. Yeah, so SellerAmp is $20 a month and Keepa is $20 a month, and that's what you'll need for sourcing. And then you'll also need Boxem in terms of software. Boxem is about $50 a month. So those three things will how you'll source, list, ship, track your profit, and the whole 9 yards basically. Yeah, but yeah, you do have to spend some money to run a business. That's just how it works. And yeah, if that's like a lot of money to you right now, I totally get it. I had very little money when I started a business myself, so you can always resell books or hit yard sales and that kind of thing. Like as long as you have like $1,000 or more, I would get into selling on Amazon. If you have less, then probably not quite the right thing for you yet. You need to have a little bit of money to spend. Is FBA better? So FBA is what I do. FBA is just a fulfillment method. It's not really like a business model. So FBA just means you ship the product to Amazon and Amazon ships it to your customer for you. So it's not really a business model. It's just like a way you sell products. Let's see. While I'm in the US. See, is there a way to find out if a product is gated before sourcing products? Yeah, for sure. Like whenever you find a product, just go into Boxem, try to list the product, and Boxem will tell you if you're gated or not. And if you are gated, then you'll just submit your invoice from, let's say you bought it at a big website. Just go ahead and use that that invoice from the big website you shopped from, and use that to get ungated. Sometimes you might see if you go and apply to sell, it says like copy listing or not accepting applications. That just means that no one's able to sell that. And a lot of those have been like that for years. So you can just move on to stuff that does actually let you sell it. So you still have to ungate when doing retail arbitrage. Yeah, I mean, you still have to like be approved to sell the stuff, but when you're doing retail arbitrage, it's usually like clearance type items, or like small to mid-sized brands. The stuff that ends up at TJ Maxx and Marshalls is usually not like super popular brands. Sometimes it definitely is, but that's a sweet spot. I tend to find a lot of auto ungated brands at local retail stores. See, an invoice from Target won't get you accepted for grocery. Yeah, so you can just submit it again. It's pretty normal to have to submit your ungating applications multiple times right now. Amazon is just they really want to make sure that no one's selling like fake stuff on Amazon during the holidays, which it makes total sense. So just keep submitting. As long as you know you're buying legit items, you'll be good to go. Let's see. You want to start? What's the best route to start? Yeah, so just look at what other people are already selling successfully. Go to like Stafford or Danner Shoelaces or Athletic Works, because those are brands that anyone's automatically approved for. And really the best way to source is check 10 to 20 like popular websites, Walgreens, Vitacost, iHerb, that kind of thing. Figure out what brands are on sale, or even better, what categories are on sale. That way, when you dive into storefronts of people who are selling those auto-ungated brands, right away, like, oh, I remember I just saw that brand is on sale at Vitacost today. It has a 20% sale, and this person's selling a whole bunch of it. All right, let me just compare those back and forth. Yeah, say that again. Yes, if you're looking for that, just Athletic Works, Stafford, Danner, that kind of thing. You can also just look up auto-ungated sourcing on YouTube, and you'll see a video from myself or one of my friends that'll show you how to do some auto ungated sourcing, just sourcing things you're already approved to sell, basically. How can you do retail arbitrage? Retail arbitrage is simple. You go out to a store and you scan stuff with the SellerAmp app, and it tells you if you're profitable or not. Retail arbitrage is simple, decent amount of legwork. Online arbitrage is way less legwork, but more technical knowledge. It's also a lot more scalable. It's 100K revenue with only OA possible per month. Definitely, man. I'm going to do about 170, 180 in revenue this month. Maybe even better with Black Friday. It's hard. It gets hard to predict how good Black Friday is because it's usually very, very good. But yeah, I mean, I know it's possible. I'm doing over 100 a month with OA for sure, and I know several other people that are as well. I actually know hundreds of other people that are doing that as well. Let's see. Why not do a private label and not deal with wholesaler arbitrage? Because I've built a lot of skills doing arbitrage and wholesale, and I enjoy it, and it makes money. Other people might enjoy doing private label, and that's awesome too. There's no reason to do one particular thing just because somebody on the internet said it's the best, right? Like there's a 1,000 different ways to make money. You just got to stick to something you actually like doing. See, shoes the same design, the base. Yeah, I mean, like I said, if you think you'd be happy receiving a product that's like slightly different from what the picture shows, then you can try it. That's just like a good sniff test, basically. Majority of your revenues from retail arbitrage. Now about 95% is from online arbitrage. And then the rest is a little bit of wholesale, the occasional like retail arbitrage product. But around two to $2.5 million this year will all be products that we bought from websites and we're selling back on Amazon. It's a lot more scalable than some people think. A lot of people think it's very linear in terms of, you can only do this business model until you make $1,000, then you can only do this business model until here. Like, if you find something you like doing and you can stick with it, then keep doing it. That's the real key. Like, even if you guys are watching this and you're like curious, like, you're just trying to make some money online, I don't care if you sell on Amazon or anything like that. I just want you to pick something that works and stick to it and make some money on your own. That's what's actually the life-changing stuff. Let's see. How do you get by doing OA? If a lot of times they ask for invoices after a while. If they ask for invoices, you just give it to them. Like, I'm not sure what you're worried about. I know it's a pretty common misconception that like people will say like, oh, if Amazon asks you for documents, you can't prove that they're legitimate with online arbitrage invoices, like buying from websites, which is definitely not true. I think it's just like a really common misconception. If Amazon asks you for your documents in terms of like, where'd you source this? Is this a real item? That kind of thing. Just give it to them. You don't need to hide anything. As long as you're buying from legitimate websites, then you're good. Yeah. See, you watch me on YouTube, but appreciate you. Yeah. Appreciate you. Let's see, how many ASINs do you have? Usually I'm selling a few hundred products at a time. Other people who do, my revenue volume, they might have 10 products. I just like to sell as many different products as possible so that if a problem happens with one of them, it's no big deal. It's not a big expense. Just sell it somewhere else, no big deal. Obviously it's more work to manage more products, but it's less risk if something goes weird with any of them or one of them becomes not profitable anymore. You just kind of hit, I like to hit as many small wins as possible, and those stack up massively. Let's see. Yeah, some of you guys asking about like ungating and stuff. So you just buy from any legit retailer and then submit that invoice until you're approved. It's totally normal if you get like some, a few denials. Usually I have to submit at least like 5 or 10 times this time of year to get approved, and it's totally normal. Amazon's just making sure that only legit sellers are in. That's partially just because the people at Amazon that check those documents like don't actually do their job a lot of time, unfortunately. So you just have to submit until you get someone who actually is doing it, basically. So you do wholesale at all a little bit, not a ton anymore. I'll hop on an invoice with like some friends and that kind of thing every now and then though. See, what are the best items to sell? Anything that's profitable. Like I wouldn't like stick to one particular thing, but if you're looking for like a starting place, any niche you already have like personal interest in is a good place to start, because like what brands are popular, like what brands have good sales, that kind of thing, right? Like you have a little bit of familiarity with good products in that niche. And if you don't have any interests like that, then just start looking at what other Amazon sellers are selling. It's not like super complicated. For sure. Appreciate you, Rayhan. Appreciate you. So do you know if Sam's Club invoices work? Yep. It's like I think first or second biggest wholesaler in the country. So it'll definitely work. Yeah. Let's see. You tried to get ungated in a couple of brands. So I mean, you probably auto ungated 2 of them, but if you tried like 150 brands, there's going to be at least 80 or 90 of those that will let you apply. And as long as a brand lets you apply to ungate, you can just consider it ungated and you're able to source it, because you can always just use the invoice for something you already bought profitably to get it ungated. Anything that doesn't say apply to sell, don't sell that, because it's not accepting applications though, is the big difference. Let's see. You have a storefront. How do you post products to sell? Yeah, so you just take the ASIN or the UPC for the product that you are sourcing or you want to sell, paste that into Boxem where you list your inventory, and then you'll make the shipment on Boxem and all that kind of stuff. If you got the account open, the hardest part is for sourcing the first profitable product, and then you just start shipping it in with Boxem and all that kind of stuff. Let's see. Signed up for the account. Awesome. Yeah. Let's see. How can you find a winning product? Do you need to search it up on Amazon? So I think that's a good question. Finding a good product isn't necessarily finding a good product on Amazon. It's finding a good opportunity to source from, right? So you're not looking for a product on Amazon. You're like, oh, this sells 100 times a month and it's I like the product, that kind of thing. Let me see if I can find it. The much more efficient way is to find products that, or is to find like a whole brand or a whole category that's on sale on a different website, and then applying that to just like cross comparing to what people are already selling, rather than just like randomly pulling up products. You'll be good to go. For sure. Let's see, asking how do you get invoices? Yeah, so as far like invoices, you'll just download like the email that you get from them. So if you're buying from Sam's Club or Walmart or Walgreens, whatever, yeah, for sure. See, can you get ungated from Walmart? Yeah, Michael. Any legit retailer. See, do you need a business credit card at the start? Would a personal credit card work? You can use whatever. I used like a personal credit card and a personal bank account. But I was like a dumb kid when I started the business. You can, but it's smart just to, even if it's not technically a business account, just open separate cards for it, separate bank account, even if it's technically a personal account. That way you can keep everything nice and separated. You can figure out all the like, the boring back end, like bookkeeping and all that kind of stuff as you go. But it is smart, like try to keep the finances separated. Otherwise, you might have no idea. Like if you got, business income mixed with personal income and all that kind of stuff, you might think you're making a ton of money and you're not making any money, or vice versa, right? Yeah. Let's see, you're wondering how you can look for popular products sold during Q4 because you can only find. Yeah, I mean, so I think that's like storefront stocking is not going to show you no Q4 products, right? Because the best products to sell during Q4 are already going to be being sold by somebody else as well. You're just going to be competing with them. So just because you're storefront stocking doesn't necessarily mean you're going to miss those opportunities. Because like products that no one is selling are generally not really a great opportunity. So yeah, you can still storefront stock for Q4 products, and that's how you'll find the majority of them. Now, what you might want to do is storefront stock and say, hey, this seller has 100 products. All right, of their 100 products, I see 10 of them are in, let's say, Carter's brand. All right, I see Carter's brand has a sale today. Now I can just reverse source and look at only Carter's leads in that storefront. I'll check a couple other storefronts for that brand. But you're storefront stocking until you find a good sourcing opportunity, and then you can zero in on that using a ton of other storefronts. But especially when you're new, it doesn't make sense to just like randomly pull up products or manual source, that kind of thing, because most of them are going to be duds if you're manual sourcing. But if you're looking at like storefronts where you're just looking at a big list of things that are already profitable, then you're good. So have you ungated Hanes before? Yeah. I know a bunch of ungating questions. So like, yeah, you just submit invoices from wherever you bought profitable inventory. As long as your source is legit, you're good. I know it feels, ungating is very scary or something like that, but yeah, you can just submit wherever you're buying from. See how long you've been doing this? A little over 6 years now. Yeah, or I guess maybe 7 now. Somebody can do. I started in September 2018, so I guess that makes it 7 years, I think. Something like that. Let's see. Keepa, yeah. So Keepa and SellerAmp, those are pretty much essential for sourcing. For sure. See, what are the chances you can sell holiday items now with Christmas around the corner and you just now starting? Very high. I will say if you're selling holiday specific items, I wouldn't send them into Amazon FBA anymore, just because it can take at least 3 to 4 weeks for stuff to check in, and then you're looking at the middle of December. So if you're selling Christmas lights, people are shopping for those right now, right? Because they're setting up the Christmas tree, they're decorating the house, right before Thanksgiving, that kind of thing. So if you want to sell Christmas items, now is still a great time to source them. Just make sure those are items that you can ship directly to the customer, doing some FBM basically. Let's see. You've been told that hoodies are not good sellers on Amazon. I mean, anything sells well. Like that should not pass the common sense check. If I'm going to be real with you, like people wear a lot of hoodies, right? Anything that people use a lot of sells well on Amazon. Yeah, you can sell anything. See, do you do mentorship? Not really, James. There's a ton of free content you can dive into, and you just let me know if you have any questions. I do some one-on-one calls, but usually makes more sense after you got a little bit of your sea legs under you, so to speak. Yeah. Plus, you can learn all the basics for free. So if you guys want like a free place to learn on YouTube, down here there's a free course. On TikTok, up here there's a free course in my bio. For sure. You're selling a brand on Amazon and somebody emailed you selling them to remove the listings. Sometimes that'll be like fake emails from like your competition. So like if you're worried about a brand that you're maybe not allowed to sell or something like that, check and see on the new seller count, see if there was a big drop off, if Amazon ever kicked off a bunch of sellers on that listing, or if the brand kicked off a bunch of people off of that listing. And if you don't see that, then it's usually like you're good to go, Lisa. Yeah, personally, like you'll get a lot of letters and emails and that kind of stuff, just like with empty threats telling you to stop selling stuff. As a general rule of thumb, like if you want to be an entrepreneur, especially selling on Amazon, you got to get good at like reading between the lines, like knowing what you're actually allowed to do and all that kind of stuff. For sure. Not sure what you mean, Lorax. I don't sell anything from China. I mean, in a way, I guess like a lot of the stuff, like a bunch of name brand stuff is manufactured in China, and that's what I sell. But yeah, I don't buy anything directly from China. Let's see, how much money did you start selling with? About $1,500. It was like the money I had made is like my high school job working at Walgreens. That was my life savings at that point, and I put it into buying some stuff to resell basically. See, can you do FBM and FBA at the same time? Yeah, it's even smarter to do that, because that way, let's say you send a product into Amazon FBA, it's probably going to take 3 or 4 weeks at least before you start seeing sales on that. But if you list it FBM at the same time, you can start making sales today. And then once those things check in FBA, you're making sales a little bit easier. But yeah, like especially this time of year, if your goal is to optimize how much money you're going to make on Amazon, you are FBMing right now. Yeah, for sure. Let's see, do you do FBM? I do a little bit of FBM myself. Yeah, Michael. Yeah, we have some people that take care of it for me. Let's see. Have you gotten past 100 unit Ungates lately? I just submit 10 on those, and I'll submit until they get approved. Still a lot of people at Amazon that are trained on 10. The main thing is they just want to make sure you're buying like legitimate inventory. For sure. Started on TikTok. Nice. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, any there's a bunch of great side hustles out there right now. It has never ever been easier for people with not very much money or no business experience, that kind of thing, to start a business that actually works. Not in human history, because of the internet. So if you're not using that, then like what are you doing? Like we have the biggest opportunity in basically human history to start a business. You got to be using it. You gotta. Let's see. Do you have any real estate? I bought a house not too long ago. Let's see. Yeah, bought paid for a house with a bunch of crap that I've resold on Amazon. So you love to see it. Let's see. What's your opinion on creating a bundle rather than selling individually? I don't create any listings unless I can, like partner directly with the brand or have some kind of control over the listing, just because it's not like worth the effort. If you go through the effort of creating the listing, getting it ranked, like all that kind of stuff, and it's just somebody else's brand, other people are going to copy that, and the profit's going to go away, and you're going to have done a bunch of upfront work for nothing. Plus, like right now, there's about 720,000 products on Amazon that sell 30 plus times a month. Amazon doesn't sell, and the brand doesn't sell. So that's basically the market for resellers is just under 1 million total products between everyone who resells stuff on Amazon. So there's a ton of opportunity. There's no real reason to like make new listings when there's that many things that already like sell well if you just list them basically. For sure. Yeah, for checking. Yeah, so you just like go in and list products basically. Just day set. Yeah. How long you been doing this? Over 6 years at this point. See, how much can you make selling the right items on Amazon versus eBay? Yeah, so eBay just has like way less customers. I also sell stuff on eBay. There's no reason not to sell stuff on multiple marketplaces. But yeah, eBay just has way less shoppers. So people on eBay are also generally like a little bit more like, I don't know, thrifty, I would say. So on Amazon, you're selling to generally like, upper class consumers that aren't quite so price sensitive. They just want a good experience and they want their stuff fast. So they're willing to pay a price premium, and that's where we make our profit from. You can definitely sell stuff on eBay, but just for the types of stuff that I like to sell, it makes a lot more sense on Amazon. Sweet. Yeah, let me know what other questions you guys got here. Good vibes today for sure. Yeah, and for any of you guys that have been hopping on here, if you want to see like how to do all this stuff for free in terms of like start reselling on Amazon, that kind of thing, there's a free course up here in my bio. I know I see a lot of you guys asking about mentorship or on YouTube as well. There's a free course up here in my bio or down here on YouTube. Just dive into that. It's a few hours of content. There's a free Discord community, all the basics basically. some spreadsheets. Also in there, there's a spreadsheet of 100 places that I've sourced inventory. I've sold about $4 or $5 million from those 100 websites. You can just have the list. Yeah, that's free in my bio. Start there. Sweet. Yeah, sounds good. Let's see. Can you talk about prep? Yeah. So like, you buy an item, you ship it to your house, you list it on Boxem. Boxem will help you print the labels, ship it into Amazon. Cost you about 60 cents a pound. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The first time you make a shipment, it might feel a little bit complicated. I know it's complicated for me. When you do it on Boxem, it makes it a lot easier than what I had 6 years ago getting started. But yeah, you just label those items, get them shipped off. Main thing is just ship products off to Amazon how you want the customer to receive it. Let's say if you're selling a 2-pack, send it as a 2-pack. Don't just send them a big box and assume Amazon's going to make your multi-packs for you, that kind of thing. See, would people see your listing if you were to start today? Yeah, Jacob. So the way it works, like if you list a product on Amazon, take, I don't know, a DeWalt wrench. I'm just going to use a DeWalt drill, for example, right? If you list a DeWalt drill on Amazon and your price is the same as the people who are currently getting the sales and you have the same shipping speed, so usually that's going to mean you sent it into the FBA warehouse, then you're going to get your share of the sales. That's like the nice part about Amazon is, if you're competing with $1 billion business or you just literally have your first product listed on Amazon, as long as you're giving the customer the same experience, the sales are going to be shared between both of you, for sure. What's up, Debbie? You can use Boxem instead of Seller Central. Yeah, so Boxem will make your listing faster. It's how you track your analytics. It makes shipments faster, and usually you can save a little bit of money on shipping because you'll see multiple shipment options on Boxem as well. For sure. See, what product research tools do you recommend? Yeah, SellerAmp and Keepa. Those are both $20 a month for sure. See, what's up, Leon? You said we find a good product. How much do you buy for that specific color or size? Yeah, so if you'll see a lot of good products on Amazon have the small, medium, large. But when you look at the sales are actually shared between all the different variations. So what you can do is on SellerAmp, just check the reviews tab. And the reviews are a good way to infer the total number of sales that are going to each style. So for example, on a t-shirt, you're usually going to see like the black large will have the most reviews. Let's say it has 10% of the reviews. And that whole listing is selling 1,000 times a month. All right, I can assume that black large is selling 100 times a month, right? So you're just looking at, how many reviews do each color have and making that a proportion to how many times a month that item actually sells. What's up, Tiago? We usually do not do a discount, Tiago. It's already, by far the best value around. Sweet. Yeah, let me know what other questions you guys got here. Let's see, if you were to buy some joggers, you only got 4 from a retail store. So did you wait to post more, or yeah, no, if you buy 1 unit, just list it. If you buy 100 units, list it, right? Like you can list as many or as few products as you want. And especially when you're new, like, if you're probably starting this business with 2, 3, maybe $5,000 if you're super lucky, right? So it doesn't make sense to go out and spend your entire starting budget on one single product. So just buy like 2 units, see if it sells. Okay, that did awesome. Now let me restock. Let me get 20. It clearly is going to work. Let me buy a bunch more. Now, obviously, you're going to grow slower if you do that, but like you can de-risk the business if you do it that way. If you make a bad buy and you only bought 2 units, okay, I lost $50, but I learned a lesson, right? That's just like the natural way of kind of learning anything there. Let's see. Is Amazon ground shipping worth it? Usually I don't see it being the cheapest, but I haven't heard any like major issues with it. Although I'm pretty sure you have to schedule a pickup that's not free. If I'm thinking of the right thing. So for Amazon ground FBM shipping, just make sure you have multiple packages. And maybe that's different. I know that's how it was last year though. For sure. Let's see, how hard is it to start? Finding your first product is difficult, right? That's, starting any business that works is going to be hard. I remember like when I was starting, I definitely didn't know like the right ways to start, but it took me a few days to start. I would say pretty typical is maybe a few hours to find your first products. And then, a few weeks into the business, it's taking you 30 minutes to find a product. A few months in the business, it takes you 15 minutes to find a product, right? You're naturally going to become a lot faster, for sure. Definitely not Harar. Yeah, that's funny. Where do you source? Big popular websites. So Walgreens, Vitacost, iHerb, that kind of thing. If you want to see, I actually made a list of 100 places that I source inventory from. It's free. It's up in my bio with the free course up there. So it's called the Amazon Launchpad, up in my bio on TikTok or down below. I'll also put the link in chat if you guys are on YouTube. That's 100 places that I've sourced inventory from. I've sold about $4 or $5 million sourcing from those websites. You guys can just check that list. Will it be good to get a virtual assistant? Eventually, yes. I personally have a team of like a handful of virtual assistants that source all my products for me. They buy all the products for me. They're managing the business. They're doing ungating. They're talking to Amazon for me, that kind of thing. That's not something you're going to have right away, because you need to understand all the basics of the business before you start paying other people to do it for you. Because you don't want to pay people to run your business for you that don't know how to do it correctly, and then you're spending money to pay people to lose you money, right? So you need to like learn all the basics, and then you can gradually kind of replace yourself. That's like the very smart way to do it. I think a lot of people think like to be successful in business or whatever, you got to be working super hard, but like you shouldn't be working super hard doing the same thing year after year, because otherwise you bought yourself a job if you're doing the same thing over and over again. Over time, you definitely want to like replace yourself, but it's kind of a balance of doing it like too soon. If you do it too soon, you're going to, probably spend a bunch of money you didn't need to. How soon would you be able to get your first sale if you fully commit to, let's say, today? Yeah, if you, the day you get your Amazon seller account, if you list a product that has a good price and a good shipping speed, you will make a sale. That's just how it works. So like if you have an Amazon account right now and you list your first product competitively, you can make a sale today. Yeah, it doesn't matter if your store is new. As long as you list things with good shipping speed, good price, that's going to be by far the most important thing. Let's see. Let's confuse you. If Walmart has it, why does the customer not go to Walmart? People just shop for convenience most of the time. And I think and this makes sense. Like a common misconception is you're just like, I'm not sitting here buying stuff from Walmart for $10 that sells on Amazon for $30, right? The majority of what I'm doing is, for example, today, there's a bunch of sales for Veterans Day. So I'm buying things that have maybe a 20% coupon code that only existed on Veterans Day. And then, the rest of the days of the month, somebody looks, it's not going to look profitable. So I'm making my items profitable rather than like finding things profitable. So a lot of times the prices that like you say, like, why doesn't a customer just go buy it for way cheaper? A lot of times they can't, because I bought a ton of them from the website that ran it the cheapest, and then I resold them on Amazon for more. Now, some products there are going to be, they're just sitting there every day for $20 and you can sell them on Amazon for 35 or 40, right? That does happen, but most of your good products are going to be things that you found on like a limited time kind of discount window, if that's how you want to think about it. For sure. Yeah, lots of good questions, good energy today for sure. So yeah, if you guys want to learn more, you can also just look up Fields of Profit on YouTube over on TikTok. And then you guys on YouTube, you can dive into the free course down below. Make sure you get free trials of SellerAmp and Boxem. That'll be how you start running the business, sourcing products, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, let me know what other questions you guys got. Probably go for at least a few more minutes here. So you're looking for your first product now? I like it. Let's see. So you buy and store at your place until they buy on your store on Amazon. You can. So that's FBM. If you buy it, ship it to your house, ship it to the customer when it sells. What I do for the majority of my business is not that. So I'll buy it. I will ship it to a prep center, which is like a third-party company that ships it to Amazon for me. And then when those products are at Amazon, customer buys it on Amazon, Amazon ships it to the customer for me. So for the majority of the products that I sell, I never see, touch, ship myself, anything like that. I'm just paying a prep center to ship it, and then Amazon ships it to the customer for me. Sweet. Appreciate you. Electrical Plug is your name on TikTok. I appreciate you. Been working hard for sure. Let's see, how long does it take to make an account? If you don't have an account yet, sometimes it takes like a few days to get your like address information verified, that kind of thing. So especially if you're wanting to make money this Q4, even if you you're like still on the fence, that kind of thing, make the account right now. You got to make the Amazon account because it will take a few days. And this time of year, every day is super, super important. For sure. If Amazon cancels an order for the payment not going through, will they add the item back to list? Yeah, that's like, I wouldn't say it's like common, but it definitely happens. You'll see it go to like a pending order, and then basically say like, customer is too broke to buy this item, if you want to look at it like that. And then it'll show back up in your inventory. It's not insanely common, but it does happen. But yeah, I mean, you're not gonna have to ship stuff out that the customer doesn't have money for. If the brand's on the listing, you can't sell it. Is that right? So most of the time it would let you sell it, Lisa. It's just a little bit risky because if a brand is already selling that product, they probably care enough about that item to remove resellers from the listing. So unless you're working like directly with the brand, I personally don't sell things that the brand also sells on that listing. Let's see. What about returns and if they use the product? Yeah, so returns are definitely gonna happen. That's why it's important to like stick to like good profit metrics. So like for me, especially on things that get returns, I'm gonna look for at least a 40 to 45% ROI versus something like grocery where there's no returns. I'll buy like a 25% ROI. You basically like price in the risk of returns. Just because that's part of why so many people shop on Amazon because the refund policy is so customer friendly. So, it is annoying when you get those returns, but you also got to remember it's part of why so many people shop on Amazon. Do you do drop shipping or private label? I do neither, PMB. So I just buy and resell products from big websites. Kind of, super low hanging fruit in terms of money you can make on Amazon. Let's see. Do you have to use Amazon provided shipping labels for FBM and FBA? No. A lot of times you can find them cheaper outside of Amazon too. Just make sure, especially with FBM shipping in particular, you'll typically have a little bit less coverage if you're buying shipping outside of Amazon in terms of like getting covered if customers claim they didn't get it or anything like that. You have an Amazon account, a personal one. Can you make it into a seller account? No. So it'll be a different account, Jacob. So go to sell.amazon.com and sign up. Let's see. What's your monthly sales average? Last year we sold just under 2.6 million. This year should be right around there. So whatever that averages out to on a monthly basis there. What is FBM? Fulfilled by merchant, aka fulfilled by you. You're shipping the item that you bought directly to the customer when it sells. Let's see. When items return, does Amazon list them again, or you take them back and send them into Amazon? Yeah. So most, or like I wouldn't say most, but a lot of the items that you buy, if they get returned, they'll go right back in your inventory, and Amazon will resell them. Where that won't happen is if Amazon gets the return back and they say, hey, the customer damaged this item, or they opened the box or something like that, then they're going to ship that back to you and you can figure out what to do with it from there. A lot of times I'll send that stuff straight back into Amazon again. Or if I can't like clean it up a little bit, I'll sell it on eBay as like gently used, basically. Do you buy from Alibaba? No, not at all. Yeah, there's a bunch of products that already sell very well on Amazon. And as long as you get good at sourcing through like individual websites for them, you don't need to buy from China or do anything like that. Yeah, for sure. Do you have a YouTube page? Yeah, so just Fields of Profit on YouTube. Or if you guys are on TikTok, there's a free like 3-hour course up here that has a bunch of like good video guides and stuff for you. It's down here on YouTube as well. Do you do wholesale? Nope. I'm about 95% online arbitrage. I would say I usually place like 1 or 2 wholesale POs every year. Maybe, I might spend 50, maybe $100,000 on a wholesale order every year. That's about it. Is shipping cheaper on Boxem instead of Seller Central? Sometimes it can be because it'll show you more options if you do optimized shipping, but in general, it'll be very similar rates. But when you use Boxem, kind of the benefit is that all your numbers are tracked, so you actually know how much profit you're making, and the shipping process is roughly twice as fast. So if you want to value your time, you'll use Boxem to ship products. Let's see, Prep Center is charging you $350 for FBM and shipping. That's pretty standard for third-party Prep Center FBM rates. I've seen a little bit cheaper, but not by much. If that's too much for you, then just FBM out of your house. Yeah. Yeah, you can just fill up the kitchen, fill up the dining room, fill up the extra bedrooms. Like, I know my first Q4 selling stuff on Amazon, I was definitely getting in trouble with the family because I had too much stuff sitting around the house. You're not properly making enough money off of Amazon Q4 until at least one person in your house is mad at you. Then you take them out to dinner with the profit and they'll be happy, something like that. See, friend and I want to do FBA. Would you recommend doing it together or separate? I would open separate accounts for sure, Jacob. And then you guys can always collaborate if you want to run your business together, basically. But that way, you guys can just both have your own seller accounts. And if you guys collaborate and even sell the same products, you'll make more total sales that way. And both of you will make more money rather than like 50-50ing the same Amazon account. Plus, let's say like you're really serious about it and your friend is thinking about selling on Amazon, a year from now isn't taking it as seriously. It can be like kind of demotivating. That way there's no like personal friend tensions or anything like that. Are people still getting banned left and right? I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about, but I know maybe are you talking about there was a wave recently where they were doing Section 3 reviews of Amazon sellers. But as long as you were buying inventory that was from either a legit wholesaler or retailer, you're getting back on Amazon. They were banning people that were buying fake inventory, which is good because then that means we don't have to compete with people that are buying counterfeits who can obviously sell things cheaper when they're not buying legitimate products. Let's see. Can you see which supplier you buy from is the most profitable? Yeah. So you can see which ASIN is the most profitable, which SKU is the most profitable, which category is the most profitable, and then kind of use that to like inform your restocking decisions. Basically, yeah, it's super smart. Let's see. Do you buy or partner with existing brands / products? Not right now. That is I know some of my friends are doing that, like partnering with different brands and that kind of thing. I just like reselling anything I can get my hands on. There's a lot of good profitable stuff out there, for sure. How do you find the ASIN? Yeah, the ASIN's just in like the link on Amazon, or the ASIN will also show up on SellerAmp, for sure. Sweet. You're curious. Can you give you one example of a place you buy from? Yeah. So like, for example, there was like a Minecraft toy kind of thing at GameStop. There was like a buy two, get one sale. And I was buying some of these like Minecraft toys. And that was yesterday. So I'll buy that stuff from GameStop. I'll ship it to a prep center in a state where there's no sales tax. And then that prep center will ship it to Amazon and Amazon will sell it. So that's like the full path of it, basically. Let's see. Being in the Middle East, can you start selling on Amazon US? Yeah, you can. It's a little bit more complicated to sell on Amazon outside the US. But you'll just need like a formal LLC, like a formal business structure. But there's honestly a lot of people that sell on Amazon outside of the US. And they'll just use a prep center. So you'll need a prep center for any of you guys that are not in the US, or if you don't want to always have stuff going through your house, you can use a prep center, ship it to them, and then they'll do the rest of the stuff for you. Have you ever sold Garmin watches? Not personally. I don't usually like to sell like expensive electronics because it's very return heavy and it's very fraud heavy. But you can make money selling anything. Just personally, I don't do a ton of like expensive electronics. Let's see. Is this your full-time job? Yeah, this is my full-time income. I've been full-time selling on Amazon, that kind of thing, since 2021 when I graduated college. Started selling on Amazon as like a college side hustle, and by like senior year when I graduated, we made like 100 and like right around $120,000 in profit. So I was like, I don't want to go get a job. Like I'm already making decent money. I'm going to do my own thing. And it's been good for the last 4 years working for myself. Let's see. Do you suggest any prep center from Delaware or New Hampshire? Not in particular, Leon. I would say if you're in the roadmap, we have a partnered prep center that you can work with, plus a discount on that prep center, Leon. You can check that out below as well. Let's see. That's the dream. You got this, man. Yeah, you got this. Whether it's selling on Amazon or any other like good ideas you have, you can. It's like the biggest way to like accomplish your business goals or whatever is pick something that you can do every single day religiously without fail that's going to help you hit your goals eventually, and do that one thing. So for example, for selling on Amazon, it's every month I guarantee myself I'm going to spend $20,000 on products. Or if that sounds insane to you, I'm going to spend $1,000 on products this month. And I'm going to hold myself to that goal. And then a month later, like, wait, that goal was kind of easy. Let me make that goal harder. Right. So as long as you just like incrementally make your goals harder on yourself, especially things that are direct inputs that will scale your business later. So for example, selling more stuff on Amazon, the only way you grow that number is buying more stuff on Amazon, right? So pick that one thing that you have to do every day and just get better at that. Obviously simplified mindset kind of thing, but that's like all it really takes. How many hours a day do you spend towards your business? At this point, 30 minutes a day. But when I was starting to sell on Amazon, it was a lot. It was, I would say, at least 4 or 5 hours a day on top of being in college at the time. So all I was doing was going to school, going to classes, selling stuff on Amazon. So yeah, I worked a lot in the early days to build a business that didn't require a ton of work these days. And that's how I'm able to, hop on and hang out with you guys and that kind of thing. Yeah. And you're able to step away just because You get faster at finding products, but you can also hire people to run a lot of the stuff for you. Let's see, how much do you pay virtual assistants? Anywhere from like 400 is like a really starter rate up to like $1,200 a month for people that are like really, really good. That'd be like management type pay for virtual assistants. And that's for the Philippines specifically. So that's like a pretty good paying job in the Philippines. Usually when I make a job posting where we pay, our base rate's usually like $550 or $600 a month. We usually get about 300 to 400 applications for like remote work. So it's pretty highly sought after. Let's see. Yeah, Leon. So the prep center that we work with is in the FBA roadmap. If you want like a specific recommendation, there's also a discount for you there. Saves you 10% on all the prep there. Is Amazon pay to play? I mean, yeah, Amazon's an inventory-based business. So if you don't spend money on inventory, you're not going to sell inventory. Let's say your goal is to average 20K a month. So to do that, you'll need to be spending 10 to 12K a month on products. Just because the average Amazon product, let's say you sell it for $50, usually you're going to have spent $25 on that product. It's very typical to buy things for half of what you want to sell them for. So 25 of that $50 goes to the product. I'm going to go to 100 because these numbers are annoying to deal with. So let's say $50 is the $100 product that you sell on Amazon. About $30, somewhere between $25 to $35 is going to go to Amazon. And then the remaining $15 to $25 is going to go to you. Yeah, usually it's about 50% cost of goods sold, 30% Amazon fees, 20% gross profit. So the average flip will work. What product do you recommend for beginners? Anything that's auto ungated, so Stafford, Athletic Works, Danner shoelaces. Then you can source the items that those people are already selling on SellerAmp as well. Sweet. It's been like 50 minutes. All right, I'm probably gonna wrap up here. I got carried away having fun here. So if you guys need like next steps, just look up Fields of Profit on YouTube. Especially if you want to look up Fields of Profit free course. There's a 4-hour-long YouTube video that I made. Obviously, it's free. It's on YouTube that details everything for you. Get SellerAmp, get Boxem, get Keepa. Those would be the tools you need to run the business. And shoot me a message if I can answer any of the questions for you guys. Good vibes today. Appreciate you guys hanging out. And sweet. You guys have a good